Hey guys, welcome. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining me. My name's Roxanne and welcome to my channel. If you are not new, thanks so much for coming back. I really appreciate you clicking on the video. So today I decided to test one of my most favorite makeup products ever known to mankind. If you don't know this about me, I am a foundation hoarder. I absolutely love foundations. I love all kinds of foundations. I love everything about foundations. I love foundations. So I decided to go ahead and do a foundation wear test for you guys on the new Becca Cosmetics Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. And it is a really interesting foundation. I don't know. I wasn't a fan and then I kind of was a fan. So anyway, let's go ahead and just jump into the video. If you have not already hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate you doing that, and becoming a part of the Edgy fam would mean so much to me. Give me a thumbs up for this video, letting me know you want more foundation reviews, foundation Fridays, foundation fun days, foundation Mondays, whatever it is, I will review a foundation. Let me just tell you. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I upload another foundation video. So anyway, let's jump into the video and you guys will see how I apply this and what my thoughts are.
So I've already primed my face, but I only primed my face with my usual primers on this side, and then I did like my redness step on all of my face, obviously. I used the Hangover RX primer, the Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Too Faced primer. So I used both of these on this side of my face, and this side of my face I just left with no primer. So I just wanted to kind of see if there was a difference, primed face versus not primed face. We're going to try out this new Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation in Cashmere. I know it always looks scary like at the beginning of these videos because I'm all green and stuff. It looks like She-Hulk. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a few pumps on my little foundation doohickey thing here. I'm just going to use a damp beauty blender on this side of my face. Oh, okay, the shade is good, you guys. It smells really bad. That is kind of overpowering. Oh, I don't remember Becca's foundation smelling like that. I'm just using my beauty blender all over because that's how my foundation applies best. I know that some people on here, they do like a brush on one side, but I checked like the consistency and things like that, and I just kind of knew that it was going to apply better with a beauty blender. Anytime you have a thicker foundation, it's going to stay more in the bristles of the brush, so you always want to try to use a beauty blender, and this is a pretty thick foundation, even though it says weightless. And I've just kind of learned that trick, you guys, by trial and error. Pro tip. So far, it's going on really pretty. I like the coverage. Not sitting in my pores or anything. Okay, so there I used about 3 pumps. And I have to go in with 3 more pumps to finish out like my forehead and do a little more work around my face. Like, is this weird? It's like itching my face. I don't know. I really like Becca's foundation, so I hope this isn't a dud. Okay, so far so good. It is applying really beautifully. The coverage is really nice. I'm very lucky in that I have normal skin, so I can pretty much try any foundation. Okay, so pretty sure that this foundation says weightless, and it doesn't feel weightless, guys. In fact, it feels awfully heavy on my skin, like really bad. I've never really had a foundation like feel this way before. Okay. That's kind of what it looks like before I apply any other concealers, but let's go ahead and put a concealer on and see how it reacts to that. So I always use 2 concealers, you guys. I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion in 2N, and then the Prep and Prime by MAC in Radiant Rose. And then I just do a little bit of this guy. You already see it creasing. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this foundation, you guys. So far, so good. I mean, it's not caking up, but I guess the powder is gonna be the true test in that. Okay, so for some reason I like it better after the concealer was applied, and that's really, really weird. I just feel like it looks better. Okay guys, so there is the foundation before any powder, just with the concealer and the foundation alone. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my powder and the rest of my makeup and kind of come on here and tell you what my thoughts are before I head to work. It just feels a little bit heavy, and I'm worried that it's going to cake up with my powder products. So I will definitely be back on camera to tell you guys how it looks, how it reacts. You know, it's covering everything, even my birthmark. It's covering all of my breakout down here. But let's see how it reacts to powder. So I will be back after I finish the rest of my makeup. Okay guys, so this is what the foundation is looking like after I've completed all of my makeup. But so far, so good. So far, it's not sitting in my nose area. It's not sitting in my pores or this fine line or my chin. I am a little bit worried here on my nose for later, but I will definitely do a check-in at the end of the day. So far, it's playing nice with my other products. My bronzer's looking great. I will be back at the end of the day with the final check-in, but this is what it looks like right now. So I will be back at the end of the day after work in about 9 or 10 hours, and I'll let you know how this foundation held up, and we'll talk about all the details and go from there. See you guys later today. I am here to do my very, very final check-in. I wish I could have done 2 check-ins for you guys, but I got home kind of late from work and it is almost 7 o'clock now, so I thought that I gave this a pretty long lasting chance. I got up this morning, I put it on at 6 a.m., worked all day. It was raining today. It was like any natural occurrence I could put this foundation through, I did. I got soaked in the rain. There was a little bit of snow. I was sweating inside my office. So I really was able to put it to the true test. Let's talk first about the breakdown of the foundation. First and foremost, it does come in a really cute little packaging. I think this is a really cool, you know, foundation idea. It is the color that you get in the foundation. So mine is cashmere, and this is the shade, like it tells you, you know, kind of through the visual, what the shade is that you're wearing. So it says, foundation redefined, ultimate coverage in a surprisingly weightless and breathable cream. That I'm going to argue. A perfectly balanced distribution of pigment and water at high concentrations allow the formula to adapt to all skin types, which is really interesting. Lightweight and oil-free, it creates a second skin effect of undetectable, flexible coverage with a natural long-wearing finish. So there's some claims in there that I don't really agree with, but we'll talk about that in just a second. So it says intense pigment ensures that uneven texture, redness, or hyperpigmentation and other imperfections are concealed. 22% water adds hydration and an elastic finish to prevent pigments from settling into lines, dryness, and pores. One pump to perfection using one pump of foundation and your one perfecting brush or your preferred foundation brush. Sweep foundation horizontally across forehead, move to cheeks and skin, finish by sweeping vertically down the nose. Now, there are a lot of claims there that I don't agree with, unfortunately. So I purchased the shade Cashmere, and at first I was like, holy crap, that's gonna be a little light. I brought it home and I was like, I don't know. But it actually ended up matching my neck, which means that it oxidizes, because if it is this pale, and you can see my skin, you know, right now naturally, even like on my arm, you know, then it has to have oxidized. Let's do it this way. So I just feel like
when foundations oxidize, there's always the chance that you're going to get an incorrect shade. So that's something that you really want to watch out for. Secondly, the bottle is glass, which, you know, I don't mind glass bottles and I love that it's a pump. However, a glass bottle sometimes is dangerous for breaking. You know, I am notorious for being clumsy and I may break this bottle. And there is a I think this retails for $46. $44, $46. That means that money is going to go down the drain. So I'm not a huge fan of glass bottles. A lot of people like them. They're sleek. They are very sleek looking, but a lot of people don't like them for the reasons I just mentioned. Take it for what it's worth. It's kind of personal preference, whatever that may be. So for the amount of money you pay, you get 1 fluid ounce, which is pretty average for a foundation. The only foundation I know of that is less money and more fluid ounces, this guy right here, this is actually 1.6 fluid ounces. It's the Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. I wish that companies would do more than 1 ounce. I feel like that lasts me about a week. I'm kidding. I really am kidding. You know, I mean, companies give you an ounce of fluid, 1 fluid ounce of foundation, expecting it to last a long period of time. And sadly it doesn't. Now it does have a pump, which, you know, makes me excited. I love foundations with pumps. So I love foundations with pumps just because I feel like you can get more product that way rather than in a squeezy tube. Although a lot of my MAC foundations that I love come in a squeezy tube and I can get a lot of product out because I kind of cut it and then dip it in, like dip into there with, you know, a Q-tip or something. So that's the packaging, that's the aesthetic part of the foundation. Let's go ahead and talk about the actual product, the wear test, things like that. So let me go claim by claim. First and foremost, the claim about surprisingly weightless and breathable cream. I do not agree with that. I actually talked to you a little bit ago as I was applying the foundation about how heavy it felt on my skin when I was applying. I haven't really ever felt a foundation feel that heavy except for the Tarte foundation. I can't remember what it is, the Amazonian clay. However, there's a however. That foundation feels that way all day long. This one only feels that way at application. So even though it felt really heavy and disgusting and gross on my skin at first, and I wanted to take it right off because it wasn't breathable at all, I gave it a chance, and as the day progressed, I really did like the way that I couldn't feel it on my skin. That's a positive. You know, it starts out kind of not weightless and then moves into weightless. Okay, fine. Check mark for Becca. Okay. Let's see. A perfectly balanced distribution of pigment and water at high concentrations allow the formula to adapt to all skin types. I agree with that in a sense. Now, I can't attest to a certain skin type because I'm very blessed in that I have normal skin. However, if you are a drier skin type, I don't think you're going to like this foundation because it does sit so heavy, and I would imagine because of that, it'll cling to your dry patches. So I would try a sample of this first at Sephora if you can before you go into spending $44 to $46 on it, because if you don't end up liking it, then you're stuck with a foundation that doesn't work for your skin type. Oily skin people might like this a little bit better just because it is so heavy and it does kind of soak up a lot of moisture. So I'm thinking that it's going to be better for oily skin. Even though it says all skin types, I have to argue with that fact as well. I'm not really sure that that's going to work. It says lightweight and oil-free. It creates a second skin effect of undetectable flexible coverage with a natural long-wearing finish. Now, the first part of that, lightweight and oil-free, I definitely don't agree that it is lightweight. It is not lightweight. You can feel it on your skin by far, 100%. Oil-free, okay, yeah. It creates a second skin effect of undetectable flexible coverage with a natural long-wearing finish. You guys, can you tell that I'm wearing foundation? Because if you can tell that I'm wearing foundation, it is not undetectable natural finish. Now, granted, it does say you're supposed to only use 1 pump, and I used about 99. But 1 pump, okay, maybe it's probably undetectable. But for me, you can tell that I have foundation on. And that right there means it's not an undetectable weightless foundation. I'm sorry, Becca, it's just not. Foundations that are full coverage are not going to be undetectable. That is an incredible oxymoron. If you are wearing a CC cream or a BB cream or even the Bye Bye foundation from IT Cosmetics that just came out, those kinds of foundations are weightless and undetectable. Foundations like this that are heavy and 24-hour coverage and full coverage are not going to be weightless and undetectable. That is a complete oxymoron and a complete crock, to be honest. You will know you have foundation on if you wear this. I promise you. It is not undetectable. You will be able to see you have foundation on. So that I don't agree with at all. And then it says intense pigment ensures that uneven texture, redness, hyperpigmentation, and other imperfections are concealed. And then it says that the 22% water adds hydration and an elastic finish to prevent pigments from settling in fine lines, dryness, or pores. Okay, so here's where we're going to do the close-up of the skin so we can look at those claims and really dive into whether or not this foundation does as the box or as the claims says that it does. So, welcome to my face. Here we go. Up close and personal, guys. It does a really good job at covering up redness, hyperpigmentation, blemishes, things like that. You all know I have a birthmark here, a lot of redness here if you watch my videos normally. And even this morning you could tell from that. And then here, you know, I have some breakouts going on right now. It does a really great job at covering up my redness, my hyperpigmentation, rosacea, whatever it is you want to call it, my breakouts, the uneven skin. Now, I don't have any texture on my skin. I'm very lucky in that way. It does look like I have texture with this foundation on, but I really don't naturally have texture. But, you know, I do agree with the claims that it says that the intense pigment ensures the uneven texture, covers redness, elastic finish, and it doesn't sit in the fine lines. That's the thing, is I have this line right here, and that's the true test for me. So this line and then these lines, I always know that I'm going to like a foundation, or at least, you know, try to love it if it doesn't sit in this line right here. And this one did not do that. Even now, it doesn't do that. It doesn't sit here. And my nose was still incredibly like spot on. It doesn't sit in my pores. And that is a good part to this foundation. I'm very pleased with that part. As far as the one pump to perfection, which is the next claim, I don't think you're going to get very far with one pump of this personally. I know that it says it does have a lot of pigmentation. I should have tried it with one pump, but I didn't because I'm a sucker for full coverage. But I don't think that the one pump claim is true. I think that you're going to need more than the one pump, just because if you're really truly wanting the coverage that it says it gives with that pigmentation in the color and the shade, I don't think that one pump is going to do it. I think you're at least going to need 4 to 5 depending on how much you love your foundation coverage. For me, like I said, I used about 99, so I had a lot of coverage on my face. With that being said, you guys, is it a good foundation? Absolutely. I feel like any foundation from Becca, I've always loved in the past. I think that it is a remarkable brand. I have a lot of products from Becca. I love their highlighters. I just think that they're a really great brand. They cater to a lot of skin types. The shade range on this, you guys, is amazing. That is one thing I really felt like I needed to mention, because right now with this, you know, inclusivity, it's really important that brands do start to include as many different shade ranges as possible, and Becca did a really great job with that, making sure that it was incorporated in every way. Now, my Ulta only carried or only received in their shipment 1 shade per. 1. So I was able to get my shade, luckily, because I always go in there Sundays when I know that they put out their shipments from Thursdays. So I was able to get my shade. I feel like with that part of it, it is an excellent attribute that Becca has there, because they are able to really include many different shade types and color tones and all of that good jazz. It has cool tones, warm tones, neutral tones, dark tones, light tones, medium tones, in-between tones. It does a really great job. You know, Becca's brand does a really great job at including everybody. So that is a positive for this foundation, absolutely. The price is a little high. Obviously, it's Becca foundation. You're going to have a little bit higher of a price with Becca. That's just their brand. It is their luxury brand, or more almost to a luxury brand. So the price is a little high. Do I think that it's worth the price? I think $40 would have done it. Almost 50 is a little bit high, or, you know, halfway to 50 is a little bit high. $50 for an ounce of foundation. The only foundation I would ever pay a lot for is the YSL. You guys all know I absolutely love that foundation, and I've tried a lot of high-end luxury foundations, but I don't think that they're worth it. I think you could get the same thing in a less expensive foundation. Would I pay that amount for this again? Probably not. I think that It's a great foundation. If you love full coverage and you love the fact that it does sit well on your skin, I would definitely purchase it, at least try a sample. But there are definite cons to that as well. It does go on heavy. There is a smell to it. That is something else that I talked about in my video when I was applying. There is a really heavy smell to it, and that I just can't get over. I think that it's a little bit too harsh. It lasted a long time, so I mean, you really have to weigh the pros and cons, you guys. It's really a personal preference, what you like in a foundation, what you're looking for. But as far as the price point, it is a little high for me. I hope that this review helped you guys, because I wanted you to make an educated decision, because it is such an expensive foundation, if you truly need it in your collection. Now, if you're a makeup hoarder or makeup collector like I am, then yes, of course, it's something that you probably would have on a shelf and use, because it is a good foundation. I'm not discrediting that. But it's just like some other foundations that I could talk about or point out to you for a little bit less of a cost, and a little more beneficial for your skin. So all in all, I like the foundation. It's not a horrible foundation. It is really good, actually. But would I purchase it again? Probably not, just because the cons for me outweigh the pros. So that's it for my review, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below if you guys have tried this foundation. What do you think of it? I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know what this foundation did for you and if you liked it or not. And that is it, you guys. Thank you again so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you all. Take care and take care of each other, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!